Welcome to the Tahoe Regional Young Professionals Professional Development topic on nutrition. Coming into spring, never a better time to get your beach body in order. Today we have Bridget McGrath at Elevate Fitness. She is a certified nutrition specialist, registered dietitian, certified strength and exercise specialist. She's also a corrective specialist.
Corrective exercise specialist.
Corrective exercise specialist, and voted best of Tahoe 2015 for personal training.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi, guys. So, nutrition. Everybody always thinks, boring subject, or too hard, too much science, I don't care, I know what to eat. But it can be really simple, it can be easy, and that's what I'm here to get you guys on. So basically what we're gonna cover today is nutrition deficiencies. So a lot of times, like what people get all involved in is, should I take this supplement or that supplement? Should I have this kind of food at 8 o'clock at night, or should I stop eating those kinds of foods at 6? Does it matter when I have what I have, or any of that? Don't worry about any of that stuff. All of that stuff is minutia. So basically with the handout that I gave you, what I'm gonna cover today is using your hand to decide what to eat. Those are your portion sizes. So those are your portion sizes based on your body type. Then you know how much of each one of those macronutrients to eat. That's it. It's as simple as that. You don't need a scale, you don't need to weigh, you don't need to read all of the stuff and see how many grams of things are and everything. Let's make this as simple as possible. So a lot of times what people do is they think what they shouldn't eat. So they go in with the idea of abstaining from chocolate, or not having fats, or I shouldn't have as much salt. So instead of approaching eating with, I don't want to have that, or I'm trying to lose weight and therefore like I should have less fruit, or I should have fewer calories or something like that, think in terms of what can I eat to be healthier? So if every time you approach every meal with, what kind of protein have I had today? How many colors have I had this week? Have I had anything red? Have I had anything blue? Just cover as many colors of the rainbow as possible. Get as much of your nutrition profile as possible. Think eat for health, not eat for diet. And you'll end up being a healthy weight anyway. So like without thinking of dieting, you'll end up being a perfectly healthy weight, but by eating for health rather than eating for diet. And so that brings us to, what should you be having and what are people typically deficient in? So this is what people are typically deficient in. Most people don't drink enough water. Most people don't eat enough protein. Most people don't get enough iron, enough vitamin D, especially up here, because in high altitude, we don't get enough sun. And when we do get sun, we're slathered in sunscreen, so we're not actually absorbing enough vitamin D. So a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D up in the altitude. Folate, potassium, magnesium, all of this stuff. So what should you be eating to get this stuff? Well, first of all, we should be drinking more water. And why? So like you always hear this, doctors always say to you, drink more water. How much and why? Half your body weight in ounces of water daily. That's recommended across the board. Now, why is that? A, makes you feel more full. B, it gives every process a little bit more like facilitation to work a little bit better. So like if you think of the body separately, that is not how it works. Circulation system doesn't work independently of the nervous system. Nervous system doesn't work independently of the endocrine system. Everything works together. Just like if you're doing a squat, you're like, oh, I'm just working legs. No, you're working hips, you're working back, you're working everything. The body works as a whole. So to get the kidneys to function appropriate, to keep inflammation down so that everything works well, if you get enough hydration, everything works better. So that's why more water, and that's how much to have. Protein. Why do you want to eat protein? Protein builds muscle. And without muscle, A, we're weak and useless and Who wants that? And B, if we have enough lean muscle tissue, we burn more calories at rest. So the more lean muscle you have on your frame, the better you age, the stronger you are, the more calories you burn at rest, the healthier you are. And you can do everything for yourself. You don't need help lifting a table from point A to point B. You can do that shit yourself because you're strong because you have lean muscle tissue. And it burns more calories at through ingestion. So the body has to work harder to break it down. So you actually burn more calories while you're eating protein. How much protein should you have? Men should have 6 palm-sized portions per day. Females should have 3 palm-sized portions per day. Now you'll notice my palm's a little bit bigger than most females' palms. Well, I'm a little bit taller. So if you have a smaller palm, that's your portion size. Everybody's size of their hand, that's what they should be eating. So like if you're going out to lunch with somebody and they're like, I had this many chicken, well, do it to the size of your hand. If that's what you should be eating, great, but that's your diet, not my diet. So everybody's diet is specific to them. What do you like to have? What do you like to eat? What's the size of your palm? Judge it by that. Don't let anybody tell you, well, I tried this diet and this worked great. There's no right, there's no wrong. Just eat healthy for you. Nobody else's diet is yours. Okay, so protein is essential, and then we need essential fats because the brain is primarily made of fat. So if we don't eat enough fat, we lose our cognition. Basically, the brain doesn't have enough of the essential stuff to work well. So like, you don't eat enough fat, you get stupid really fast, which is never a good thing. It makes you feel fuller longer. All processes work better when you have enough essential fats. So like if you're not having enough of your essential fats, things start to slow down. So you'll notice that like metabolically, you're not producing enough of your fat burning hormones. So if you have a super low fat diet, one, you're hangry all the time. You are just impossible to be around. So there's that, which is never good for anybody. But then B, like things start to, let's say they sit to stop up just a little bit, and we don't want that to happen either. So for all processes to work better, we want to get enough essential fats so that we can think well, we're feeding our brain, and then all of our fat burning hormones work well together so that we get optimum metabolic rate. But all of that's based on getting healthy fats. So what's the difference of a healthy fat as opposed to a non-healthy fat? Okay, when a guy's in a lab and he's messing with it and he, you know, with his mad science came up with a trans fat, no bueno. Trans fats, just stay away from them. The body doesn't know how to process them. So what ends up happening is you could just take however many grams of trans fat that was and smack it right in the areas you don't want it to be, because that's where it's gonna end up. Because the body doesn't know what else to do with it. It sees it as toxic. And so it shuttles it right away to fat storage because it says, this isn't usable energy. I can't do anything with this. Let's put this away for later because we don't know what this stuff is. This is poison. So it puts it in fat storage. That's exactly what you might as well have done. Smack it on your butt, smack it on your love handle, smack it on your belly. That's where it's ending up. So however many grams, that's where it went. So if you're like looking at a nutrition label and you're like, 6 grams of trans fat, sweet, I want that right here on my belly. Pretty much that's what's gonna happen. So yay for you. So if you see trans fat on a label, avoid. There's no need. So any of your poly unsaturated, monounsaturated, and saturated fats, those are all fine. Olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, avocados themselves, olives themselves, fatty fishes, your cods, your salmons, all great for you to have. And again, they're feeding the brain, so you wanna be smart. Feed your brain. Then we want to have our dark leafy greens. Why? Because it has all of the other vitamins in the spectrum. So you can synthesize vitamins. You could take a multivitamin, but it never A, synthesizes that well, particularly B vitamins. They just don't synthesize that well and the body doesn't absorb them well. So like every time you're taking that 5-hour energy and you're like, sweet, 300,000 times my daily allowance of vitamin B, all that did was make your urine more expensive. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really looking for that as my goal. So yeah, urine more expensive, not really a good thing. So there's only so many vitamins that we can absorb well when synthesized, and when we take them as a synthetic or take them as a supplement, everything else, it does a lot better if you take it from food. So if you can eat your vitamins instead of taking them in pill form, you're gonna get a lot more out of it. It's gonna absorb a lot better, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper. So like, why make your poop and your pee more expensive than it needs to be? And that's what's happening with most vitamins. Then the other thing with vitamins is, since they don't synthesize that well, a lot of times they end up being toxic. So you can take a toxic amount of vitamin C, you can take a toxic amount of vitamin B that actually does more harm than good. In a fish oil supplement, if it was exposed to oxidation during processing, you actually end up with more inflammation than less inflammation, and that was completely counter to what you were looking to do. You were taking the fish oil so that you could bring inflammation down, feed your brain. Now your brain's like, toxic, and the whole body's like, ew, I don't know what to do with this because it's like poison to the body, and everything inflames. Completely counter. So when you take any kind of supplement, it should be just that, a supplement, only because you weren't getting it from the food that you were eating. Fiber. Obviously, this is going to help with your bowel movements, keep things moving, which is very important. But the longer that food stays in the digestive tract, the more you extract nutrients from it. So that's why everybody always says to you, eat more fiber. This obviously covers what fiber is, but anything that has a thick skin on it, kiwi, apples, bananas, plenty of potassium, oats, nuts, all great for fiber. So everybody, males and females, should be getting 30 grams of fiber or above every day. That's actually kind of a hard target for a lot of people to hit, and they find that they're just not getting there. But if you're not pooping on a regular basis, that's why. Okay. Now, here's the avoid. So when I say, like, don't eat with the idea of, I want to lose weight, therefore I'm going to subtract rather than add, the only things that you need to subtract is all the stuff that comes in a package. If it comes in a cardboard box, invariably the cardboard box is more nutritious than what it contains. So there was a really interesting study on breakfast cereal. So they did 3 groups of rats, fed the rats a gruel and water solution, fed the rats Total, the Total brand breakfast cereal, and then fed the rats water and the cardboard box that the Total came in. The first group to die, with carcinogens and a high risk for cancer, the group that ate the cereal that came in the box. Second group that lasted the second longest was the one eating the cardboard box. Third group that lasted the longest was the gruel and water. Like, toxic. It was actually so toxic, the breakfast cereal, that's what killed the rats. That's like, and that's Total. I mean, you're going into the store thinking, that's one of the more nutritious breakfast cereals, no? No, there is no such thing as a nutritious breakfast cereal unless you can see the whole grains in it. So like your mueslis, your homemade granolas, any of those kinds of cereals, when you can see what's in it and it's not like a scab that came off of your skin, then that's gonna be pretty good for you. But Total, have you ever noticed it looks like a scab? I don't want to eat any scabs. That's gross. So yeah, if it looks like a scab, don't eat it. It's no good for you. And pretty much anything that comes in a cardboard box. So any of like the boxed cookies, any of your boxed foods, really. Half of the stuff that's made by Nestle, Teddy Grahams, crap. Chips, crap. Lunchables, crap. And people are giving them to their kids. All of that stuff's crap. And if it has low fat, low sodium, low sugar, any of those monikers usually indicate that something else is added so that it's palatable. Because when it has low fat, they have to add sugar to it because it is just inedible when they've removed things from it. And does that make you a little wary when they can add and subtract and just mess with it, like the guy in the lab and the, you know, that you're gonna get addicted to this. And the whole idea behind manufactured foods is to make you addicted to it, to get you to buy it again and again. So they're adding ingredients that are addictive so that you'll buy it again. Oreo cookies are loaded with sugar and loaded with fat so that you're like, man, these Oreos are pretty good. I think I'll eat them again. Because, well, yeah, they're like cigarettes with nicotine in them. They're super addictive. So avoid, because all you're doing is feeding into a food industry that's trying to poison you so that they can keep you as a customer anyway. Well, screw them. That's not cool. So yeah, don't feed into their whole thing. And avoid anything that has low this, low that. Read the ingredients on it, and I'm going to show you what the nutrition label looks like so that you know what you're looking for. So the FDA requires that everything is put in order of weight. So if you're seeing it right at the front, that means that's what it mostly contains. That's the highest weight volume ingredient in there. So if you're seeing sugar as the #1 thing, that means it primarily consists of sugar. So like, yay, sugar with wheat added. Yay! Like, who wants to eat that? But like if you're starting off with wheat, or if you're starting off with oats and sugar's way down at the bottom, then sugars are just added as a flavoring rather than a primary ingredient. You're looking for all of your sugars to be 4 grams or under, because 4 grams is 1 teaspoon of sugar. So if you see sugars 4 grams, you might as well have taken refined sugar, just that white table sugar, and put 1 teaspoon in whatever it is that you're eating. So if you see 25 grams of sugars, those 5 teaspoons, just dish that right up, because that's about what you're about to eat. So like most people, when they are approaching like a cup of coffee, they would not put 5 teaspoons of sugar in there and be like, yes, this is my morning starting out healthy, yay me. Like you would never do that. So you don't want it in your foods as well. It's the same thing. And every time the body gets that much sugar at one time, it sees it as toxic. So the body, like instantly the liver doesn't know what to do with this, triggers the pancreas, releases all kinds of insulin. And the more that happens, the higher your inflammation goes. And more diseases are actually tied to inflammation than they are to too high of blood sugar levels. So like diabetes, it's caused from inflammation first. Then we lose our sensitivity to insulin. So we want to have insulin as sensitive as possible, because otherwise insulin goes and it knocks on the cell doors and says, hey, I got glucose for you, I got some nutrients, let me in and I'll deliver it. But the cells are like, no, I can't hear you, I don't know what language you're speaking. So then it goes right to fat storage, because it's like, okay, the muscles don't want it, none of the circulatory system wants it, okay, I guess I'll just deliver it to fat storage. But the more often that happens, the more you lose your sensitivity to insulin, the more inflammation goes up, and just all processes then work less efficiently because insulin isn't able to do its job. It's trying to deliver nutrients, you can't get there. So all of these things matter. So anytime you're ever getting any processed foods, look how many sugars there are, because that's poison to your body. So you don't want to take in any more than 25 grams of sugar per day. That's what the World Health Organization says is our threshold. Anything beyond that, and it's toxic to the body. So 25 grams of sugar or less. I'm only talking about processed sugar, not fructose in fruit, because it's got fiber, it doesn't have the same response to it. But you can drink your sugar just as much as you can eat your sugar. Fruit juices, not doing a thing for you. The body does not know the difference between orange juice and soda.
It sees it as exactly the same. So you're like, yay, orange juice, healthy me. No, the body's like, yay, Coca-Cola, it's all the same. It doesn't know. It doesn't know the difference. So like, you want to eat your calories rather than drinking your calories. And booze, man, does that add up. So wine, alcohol, cocktails, oh, drinking your calories, no good. All the time. Anytime I put somebody on a meal plan, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna watch the sugars. We're gonna get healthy fats. We're gonna have this much protein. And we're not gonna drink. Aw, man. I have them completely invested until I say no booze. But yeah, try and space out your drinking, because the more you have it like back to back and you have more than 2 drinks at one time, same deal. Insulin goes knocking on cell doors. Cell doors are closed, goes right to fat storage. So you might as well have taken all those grams of sugar in that booze and said, what do I want it? Do I want it on saddlebags? Do I want it on belly? Do I want it on my love handles? Because that's where it's gonna go. So yeah, sugars, watch the trans fats. Trans fats are always looking for either it's not even listed because there's nothing. If it is listed, it has a slight amount, 0 to, or up to 0. So 0.0 up to 0.9. So watch the trans fats and try and avoid at all possible, because again, that's Frankenstein fats. We don't want any of this poisonous kind of stuff in our body. Okay. And then this is ideal portion sizes for women. This is ideal portion sizes for men. So again, just using the size of your hand, made really easy. How many servings of vegetables should I have? 2 fist size. 1 for females, 2 for men. So just make your hand into a fist. That's how many each meal. So this times 3, that's what you should be eating every single day. So 3 primary meals per day. Does it matter if you divide it into 6? No. Does it matter if you eat after 9? No. Does any of that stuff, like that minutia, really matter? No. As long as you're getting this on a daily basis, don't overthink it. Get this, focus on that before trying to get really specific with, but I added creatine, so I'm okay. Doesn't matter. But I stopped eating before 6. Doesn't matter. As long as you're getting all your macros in, doesn't matter what time you have. More and more studies are seeing that like people that have eaten later at night, as long as it's not interrupting your sleep, you're fine. Some people that divide meals up into like 6 or 7 meals per day, they end up having more calories. So like, did it have any better of a thermic effect because they were like always having their digestive system going? Maybe 10 calories worth. 10 calories is like 1 sip of kefir. So it's really kind of, in the whole scheme of things, irrelevant. So as long as you're getting all your basic nutrients, feed your body. Don't starve it. If you haven't eaten all day, make sure you're getting your protein in. But have your protein, have your essential fats, have your vegetables, then drink your booze. Don't go right to the booze and then, okay, but I need to have the protein too because I haven't had any good stuff. Try and feed your body first. Get all the essentials first. Then you can add on. And then if you're having trouble with like, what if did I get enough? Did I have 2 fist size servings? Like, what did I eat? It's easy to track. So if you track, you kind of keep yourself accountable, really, because you might think to yourself, oh, a cupcake only has 100 calories, sweet. And then you're like, what? 350 calories in 1 cupcake, who knew? So then you kind of realize, yeah, what you're eating, what it contains. Then you might end up getting like a box of, the veggie lasagna. And you're like, yeah, this is super healthy. And then you see 3,500 milligrams of sodium. Holy crap. didn't even see that coming. So like if you see, yeah, if you kind of see what's in your food, then you know, yeah, this is a little bit too toxic. This is too many grams of sodium, that's gonna increase my inflammation. Oh, I didn't get enough essential fats, or oh, I'm only 20 grams of fiber today. Yeah, I need to bring that up, otherwise I'm not extracting all my essential nutrients. Because guys, diet's everything. If you want to live well, if you want to feel good, if you want to keep your joints lubricated, if you want to have like memories right at the the tip of your brain, you want cognitive function. You don't want to feel fuzzy all the time. You want to have like really good energy, and that's diet, that's food. That's feeding all those essential systems with all the nutrients that you get every single day. So don't put crap in there. You're worth too much than to put crap in there. You might as well drink gasoline if that's kind of like what you're, if you're gonna put a bunch of sugar in there, gasoline and sugar, it's toxic to the body. You might as well drink bleach. So like, yeah, just think about like, what am I worth? I wanna feel good, and I'm worth a lot in my life. I only get this one. So let's live it as healthy as possible. Let's put good stuff in there. So every time you're looking to eat something, just think, what's the best thing that I could eat so that I feel good? Have I had all of those essential, the 2 fistfuls of veggies, the palm size of the protein, the thumb size of the fats? Have I had all that today? Okay, I have, sweet, cupcake. If I haven't had all that stuff today, salmon. Okay, salmon then cupcake. Salmon then glass of wine. But first the salmon. Okay. So that's basically it, guys. So let's open it up to some questions after Nick does a synopsis.
Thank you guys so much for attending the Tahoe Regional Young Professionals Professional Development. The biggest takeaway that Bridget is really giving us is that the keep it simple principle. It's simple, it's actionable, and these are measurable goals. It's something that we can all really be better at. We all want to be better people. It starts with what we eat. So thank you so much for coming. The next event will be next month. Please come to the events to tune in to the question and answer section. Thank you for attending at home and online. And thanks, Bridget, for hosting us here at Elevated Fitness. And we look forward to hearing more of what you have to say right now. So
cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.